So hello, everyone. My name is Mike Tarallo. I'm a Principal Technical Marketing Manager with Qlik, and I'd like to welcome you to this Do More with Qlik webinar series. This time we are covering Qlik's integration with OpenAI and some of the art of the possible use cases that you can achieve with that. So in today's session, I'm going to present how Qlik Cloud Analytics, as well as Qlik Application Automation, will provide you with the necessary tools to embed generative AI into your Qlik applications. But I'm also going to kick it off with a generalized presentation of some of these topics, terminology in general, so bear with me. Hopefully you'll find it fun and interesting. These sessions, as I've stated in the past, are to inspire and intrigue you to want to learn to do more with Qlik. On the last Do More with Qlik session, I presented write-back solutions using Qlik Cloud Analytics and Application Automation. I did this along with partner pre-sales architect Alberto Vaghi, and we showed a variety of solutions writing back to databases, cloud applications such as Snowflake, and including CRM such as HubSpot and Salesforce. If you missed that session and you would like to attend that, you can look at that or previous Do More with Qlik sessions on the Do More library, which includes 40 plus counting previous sessions, and a new archive that is available on the YouTube channel playlist webinar library. And you'll have links for all of this in the emails that are sent, as well as if you just navigate to our website or our YouTube channel, and you can navigate to the playlists there. On the next Do More, it's September 27th. I'll be presenting Insight Advisor, which is our intelligent AI assistant in Qlik Sense. Basically, Insight Advisor is going to help support a variety of advanced insight generation and automation experiences, including search-driven insights, conversational analytics, analysis types, and I'm even going to go into a deeper dive on how you can customize the insight and answer generation with natural language processing through our business logic layer. So if you're interested in attending that, September 27th, 10 a.m. Eastern. You will have registration links. There'll be pop-ups in the Qlik Cloud Analytics interface when you log in, as well as notifications sent out from our site and emails. Okay, so let's jump right into the presentation. So first, a couple of notes on AI. AI is not a passing trend, okay? It's here to stay. So, ready or not, it's either go with it or be left behind. And I would like you to think about, it was late 2020, right? November-ish, when I first heard about ChatGPT, for example. And look where we are today, 9 to 10 months later. Okay, I'm sure following the news and the media and analyst reports, it's all over the place, right? And you can see that there is a growing trend. But there's some things to understand that I'm going to jump into, right? AI and OpenAI and ChatGPT, they're not all the same. It's not all synonymous. There's a lot of pieces and things you need to learn about, understand, and conceptualize. So what I like to say here is AI is here to stay and will only get more what, right? So we're going to fill in the blank. It'll only get more powerful, smart, efficient, advanced, risky, independent or autonomous, biased, possibly, unpredictable, possibly, and then overall, possibly even scary. Right? So there's a lot to learn when it comes to AI in general. I mean, I myself have been looking at YouTube videos every night before I go to bed. I've just been watching almost everything on AI. It's extremely interesting. But what I wanted to let you know is that you are going to want to educate yourself on this. And I'm not here to fully educate you on AI, deep learning, machine learning, neural networks, large language models, generative AI, ChatGPT, OpenAI in general, right? The main goal is to show you how Qlik integrates with OpenAI. And I'm going to clarify the terminology along the way. But that being said, I found some really good information at techtarget.com that can supplement your AI knowledge if needed, okay? But of course, you could just ask ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, list 5 bullets about generative AI. Right? And it'll come and it'll return some of those responses to you. Okay, so I have found a lot of uses for ChatGPT to help augment or supplement my knowledge and learning. Okay, but by the way, do you even know what ChatGPT stands for? Okay, that's another thing is a lot of people, they hear about, they use it. Do they know what it stands for? Okay, generative pre-trained transformer, right? So that's what the acronym is. And what that basically means is you're taking a prompt using natural human language as the input, and basically will translate an answer in the style of human text. Okay, going and traversing these large language models that it's been fed and it's been taught, and producing that output back. And that's sort of what we're going to be doing today along with Qlik Sense. Okay, so generative AI in general, hold on one second, I'm sorry about that. There's a couple of things I wanted to mention here before we get into that. Is ChatGPT and OpenAI the only player at this time? Right? No, there is another, right? You have Google DeepMind or Bard, Bing AI Chat, powered by OpenAI, Qlik Cloud, which was created by ex-OpenAI employees. Stability AI is still open sourcing things that were originally open sourced by OpenAI and then were closed down to be more closed source, but Stability AI is still open sourcing this. Hugging Face is an honorable mention. GitHub, it's like a GitHub for machine learning. Okay, and this is where I got some of that reference, right? So there's other players out there when it comes to generative AI. Okay, but this is what matters, right? What is generative AI? So generative AI is basically referring to a type of artificial intelligence that's designed to produce original and creative content. And it learns patterns and structures from existing data that it's fed. It can autonomously generate new realistic output that closely resembles the input that it was trained on. Okay, and you'll see there's a number of different content types, right? It could work with images, art, language, text, music, sound, video, design, data science, gaming, simulation, marketing, innovation, and research. In today's use cases with Qlik and the OpenAI integration, it's going to be focusing pretty much just on language and text. Now, why is generative AI important? Overall, it has the potential to transform industries and drive innovation and reshape the way we approach creativity, design, and problem solving in the digital age. Okay, so if you're looking at for efficiency, personalizations, entertainment, media, art and expression, problem solving, economic impacts, here are some of the benefits of why generative AI is important. And of course, write me a set analysis to summarize sales for the year 2023, excluding the product arcade sticks. So little humor here, but you could use ChatGPT with the OpenAI integration to actually, your Qlik enthusiasts will appreciate this one, to write a set analysis expression that you could cut and paste and use it within your formulas. Okay, so should you be concerned with some of the challenges that are out there? Perhaps. I would say, hell yes, you should be, concerned, or should you be cautious, right? Or be prepared. Because ultimately being informed about the role of generative AI in your workplace and staying open to learning and adapting to it can help you navigate the potential concerns and make the most out of the opportunities that arise from the technology, right? You can think about job impact. Is your job going to be automated, or does it help you automate certain tasks? Skill development. Are your skills obsolete, or are you going to learn new skills to work with AI? Collaboration. Are you going to collaborate with it rather than replace it, leveraging your domain expertise? Okay, other things to be concerned about, right? Ethical considerations, copyright and authenticity. For example, I think there was an artist, David Guetta, I think he's like a DJ. He created a song using the rapper Eminem's voice, and he didn't even give authority to do that, and he created it with AI. Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard that story out there, but there's some of those considerations. Also, understanding the long-term outlook, how it's going to transform the industry that you're in, and if you're ready. Security concerns, deep fakes and misinformation, data privacy, bias, reputation, and compliance, right? These are things that you should be cautious and concerned about, but don't be afraid of. Okay, it's just going to take, just like anything new in this this world, you need to fully learn and understand where it's going to head to be prepared. Okay, so I use generative AI almost daily, and you can see there are many companies that are actually using it already in today's industries, right? These are just some that I use. It's just a snapshot, right? I chose a few that I'm using in day-to-day activities. Well, the exception for Snapchat, my kids use that, and they were showing me that the other day. It was basically ChatGPT embedded into their Snapchat app. Now, when it's creating posts in LinkedIn or creating a script for a video with a tool, if you heard of Vidyard, generating images or graphics with Canva, or checking out consolidated reviews. Amazon released a couple of weeks ago that they're consolidating all their reviews for sentiment for products using AI. So as I stated before, AI is already a part of our daily lives, and it's not going away. Okay, so things that you need to know about Qlik and its OpenAI generation. Okay, so these are things that are going to set the stage about some of the things you should know when it comes to using the integration. Okay, now by the time I'm presenting this, and who knows, there might even be more that's going to be released between now and then. Okay, I want to state that the relationship is between OpenAI and Qlik, and it's managed by you, the customer or partner. Qlik just facilitates the process between the APIs with the connectors we provide. It does require a paid relationship, and there is pricing on their site, and you can see that I have a brief example here, and you can configure certain parameters in the connectors to provide the level of response and how deep you want it to be. Okay, so relationship is managed by you guys. It requires a paid agreement. There are a number of tokens that are used to generate responses. We're using OpenAI's chat completions API. Okay, so the reason I'm mentioning this is because people say, well, how to integrate ChatGPT with Qlik? Well, you're not integrating ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a bot. It is an app. It is an interface that works with the completions API provided by OpenAI that traverses these large language models and produces the generative AI. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to, some of this stuff to help clarify. Generative AI can be used in real time as part of a data model. It could be used in an application automation workflow. I'm going to show you that as well. And it's consisting of the analytics connectors, as well as what's called the OpenAI Connector Blocks. Okay. As of the time of this presentation, we've introduced another connector, which is OpenAI Azure, which basically is the same thing, but it's an invite only. It's managed by Azure, but it ultimately produces the same type of results as a connector that is available within Qlik. Okay, so finally, you need to think about it, explore the strategies. How am I, or how are my customers going to integrate generative AI into the business? Okay, and there is a Gartner expert answer to the top generative AI questions. If you have a subscription to Gartner or you can access their blogs, there's some good reading on there that can help further your insight and understanding of what's going on with generative AI and how it's going to be used in the business. Okay, all right, so at this point, we're going to go into basically some of the demonstration, and I'm going to stop. We're going to get some Q&A. The other thing I wanted to mention, I heard this from one of our product managers. The Chat GPT revolution is over. It's generative AI in general is what you should be focusing on. Okay, so kind of get your mindset around not just Chat GPT, but more generative AI in general. Okay, all right. So let me get my environment into a state that I want to present and reconnect, and we can take it from here. And while I do that, I'm just going to share a couple of screens while I'm getting my environment ready. On our website at qlik.com, traditional AI versus generative AI, learn more. Okay, James Fisher, very well-known executive in our organization, has our blog on this you might want to follow up with, and it's directly listed from qlik.com on the home page. Okay, and then finally, if you go to our YouTube channel, if you're just not familiar where to go, just go to YouTube on qlik.com. I'm sorry, you can just go to our YouTube channel, just go to YouTube, and then you can search for Qlik, and then go to our channel. And you can go to our videos, and we have shorts. This is something else that I've been producing, try to release once a week. I mean, you thought SAS in 60 was short. I'm getting things down to almost 20, 30 seconds sometimes with these shorts. It's a great, quick, and fun way to learn a lot about what Qlik can do. And then our playlist here as well, such as the Do More with Qlik webinar playlists, AL and ML and Qlik, Do More with Qlik tips and tricks editions, and etc. Okay, so let's go here. And let me just make sure our chat is good. There's a question about posted recording. Yes, this will be available within the archives. Okay, and there was a question about accessing GPT-4. This is where I mentioned it requires that you have to get a token, and I'm going to show you all that now. Okay, but have your questions come in as I'm going through the presentation. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm in Qlik Cloud Analytics. I'm navigating my catalog. I'm navigating my space in this case, it's called Do More with Qlik. And I have an app that I want to access. Actually, it's not in this app. I think it's in the Retro Game Boys app. Let me see there. No, that's Sales Managed. Let's go to Retro Game Boys. And there's a Retro Gaming Collection Analysis app. Okay. For those of you that know me, I love anything that has to do with old video games, and I have a collection. And I've actually used my collection as a presentation piece and as a demonstration piece a number of times to present different capabilities that I'd like to showcase. Okay, and this data has actually been reloaded real time, 2,048 days right now. When I first started collection, it gets pricing information. Think of kind of like the stock market, but it's with video game content, video games, consoles, hardware, etc. Okay, so the first example I'm going to use is a simple integration of OpenAI with the Completions API to send a prompt asking sentiment analysis. Okay, if I'm analyzing data, I might want to understand what people are saying about a particular product because I need to be able to make a decision. Okay, and a quick example might be is I'm getting tired of my collection. I'm getting tired of a particular item. I want to sell it. Should I sell it? Should I keep it? Very simple example. So I'm just going to navigate to the different items in my collection, and I'm going to choose the Atari Lynx, let's say. Actually, I don't have a picture for that one. See, do we have a ColecoVision picture? There we go. So we have ColecoVision, and I'm going to select the product ColecoVision. And you're going to see this panel here update with some response that is going directly to the OpenAI Completions API. And there we go. So we'll make it a little bigger. And you can see the overall consensus of the ColecoVision system for the ColecoVision is positive. People praise its great graphics, good sound, great control, numerous game library. People also appreciate its compatibility with other devices, etc. Okay, so this is giving me an overall sentiment of this particular product that I selected. And this is a quick example of just sending something real time to the OpenAI Completions API based off of something that I selected or analyzed from my data. Okay, so that's the first example. The first example is connecting real time to the connector, sending a prompt. Now you might want to learn, well, how did I do that? Okay, so the way this is done is that there is a chart object, and this chart object is nothing more than a text and image object. Okay, so this text and image object is just drag and drop, and I put it right into my canvas. Now, the connector is set up through our data load editor. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just create a new section here, just to give you some blank space. And if I create new connection, you're going to see there is an analytics sources section. And in the analytics sources section, there's something called OpenAI. Okay, we do offer a little pop-up here where you can learn more about the OpenAI connectors. It brings you to some of the video content and documentation that we have for it. But by selecting this connector, you now configure it where you can set up the different completion API that you would like to use, GPT-3, GPT-3 JSON tables, and GPT-4 rows. Now, there is some prerequisite knowledge you might want to have when looking at some of these APIs, okay, such as what the parameters mean, etc. Now, I just accessed the API reference here from OpenAPI and the models, where you can just kind of learn on your own what we're actually sending or what we're using. But here is where you paste in your key. Okay, now this key is provided by your organization who sets up the relationship with OpenAI and the number of tokens that you've purchased. Okay, and all that information is available on their site on the pricing page. Okay, and if you guys missed it, as part of the presentation I had, where did I have that piece on the slide? There it is. So at OpenAI.com pricing, multiple models, each with different capabilities and price points. Prices are per 1,000 tokens. You can think of tokens as pieces of words, where 1,000 tokens is about 750 words. This paragraph here is 35 tokens, okay? And you can see the different configurations. So once you have your key, you can choose your model. There is a specific model. Usually for this instance, I use the Text DaVinci 03. Temperature, max tokens, top P, as I mentioned, all the information on what it means is in the APIs. Okay, so for example, if you wanted to know what the temperature setting was or what model was, you can just search over here and it'll explain what the endpoints are and what the reference and the models do. Okay, so you can see temperature, the sampling between 0 and 1, higher values like 0.8 will make the output more random, while lower values like 0.2 will make it more focused and deterministic. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of them, but that's where those settings come in. Okay, that's basically it. You're really just selecting the connector, putting in your key, and then the association field here, I'll explain that on the second part of this. That's not necessary for the real-time integration, but you can also grab the data in real time on a data load and then add that to your data model where it's actually part of the app. So you can think about like offloading it, if you're offloading it to a data mart or a QVD or however you want to handle that as part of your data load. You can get the freshest insights from that completion, from the chat completions API added directly into your data model. I'm going to show you that example momentarily. Okay, so this connector, I have one already set up already called OpenAI Video. So what I would do in this case is we select data, and we would select a resident table, a data field. I'm not going to do this in this particular example. What this is actually going to do, I'm just going to put some, arbitrary information in here just to show you what happens. You get your endpoint script eval connection here. This is the information that you're after here, this connection information here. Okay, and what I've done, and like I mentioned, this is not an example of a full tutorial. I have all that online. This is just to show you how I get that connection information. Inside my my script, coming back within my image and text object, I use a script component called endpoints.script agar string. Okay, and this is basically what you're filling in to access that connection for the real-time generation. Now I'm using a little bit of a syntax here, calling if get selected count. All that's doing is saying, don't run this unless something is selected in this case, so it's just not running it arbitrarily. So that's all that if statement is doing. So here is where the prompt is. What are people saying in regards to? Okay, there's an API reference for us that explains that you're passing it the prompt. And the result is going to be coming back in something called choices.text. And then you can see here I'm adding ampersand, that's just a concatenation for the field title, and concatenating the words for the and the platform. So when I clicked on the ColecoVision, it basically sent a prompt or a question or a query to the OpenAI Completions API that said, what are people saying in regards to the ColecoVision console for the ColecoVision system? Okay, so that's what's being passed upon selecting in real time. So if we go back into analysis mode, and let's just choose Rob the robot, it's now passing the prompt, what are people saying about Rob the robot for the NES? And you can see here, the majority of people seem to have fond memories of Gyromite Rob Bundle for the NES. Many reviews praise the game's unique concept, clearly designed, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here is, again, more sentiment. So based so far off of, let's say, my findings, analyzing Rob and ColecoVision, where today the loose value of Rob Bundle is 1005, which that is actually pretty crazy. I guess that's probably, if it's depending on condition, I would imagine. But I'm definitely not selling Rob, and I'm definitely not selling ColecoVision based off of the current sentiment that I received. Okay, so that's a quick example. And what you're basically doing is you're adding the connector, and then you're adding the object, and then just sending the prompt in real time along. And as I mentioned, these are covered in greater detail. If I just go to our playlists, so you can see our playlist here, there's one called Do More with Qlik Tips and Tricks Editions. Okay, and you'll see OpenAI Analytics Connector, Embed Generative AI Insights, Chart Expressions Part 1, And now we're going to talk about OpenAI Analytics Connector augmenting the data model generative AI part 2. Okay, so now part 2 is actually integrated with a HubSpot instance. Think of it as a CRM. Okay, so in this instance here, I have HubSpot, and we have a number of tickets here. And you can see somebody enters a ticket: air conditioning, not cooling. Help, my Windows computer is not booting. Order wrong control pad. Module is not correct. So these are just problem tickets that customers are opening. You have your customer support agent taking in the information, and they're taking that information and putting it into this system. Well, let's say that you need some assistance generating some canned responses to be built as part of a knowledge base for some of the common problems that are experienced in the organization that customers might face. Well, we could take that same information and we could add it as part of the data model, and we can see that these responses are now part of the data model. So the way that's happening here is if I just go into my data model, what I'm doing here is directly interfacing with the OpenAI connector, okay? And I'm getting the information back from a table that we create as part of the data load. And then the prompt for that is just part of my data load model. So here I'm saying, as actually a column in my data model, write a possible reply a support engineer could write for the support case. And you can see ampersand property content, which is the actual subject or the description of the case that is actually in HubSpot. Okay, and you can see my HubSpot CRM in this case is being replicated to Snowflake. I'm pulling this data directly out of Snowflake. So this right here is a prompt, and when that is loaded, now you can see it says as prompt. When we go to OpenAI, you can see that I have this request type, and you can see that it's going to the tickets table. Okay, that tickets table is the one that was listed right under here. It's just a declaration for support tickets. And you can see there's the declaration. And property subject, which is the associative field that I want to link the rest of my data to, and then prompt, which is the actual prompt. So to actually set something like this up, this is where you would use the interface here. And what I'm going to do is just select the OpenAI resident table would be tickets. Data field is prompt. And then I click insert, and it automatically inserts that into my data model. Okay, and then upon a reload, it's going to generate in real time that data. So from here, if we go back to the app, we run a reload, and we're going to see once this reloads, actually it already reloaded here because I have this reloading, I think, on an hourly basis. You can see the update as of August 30th, issue ID, priority high, air conditioning not cooling, customer states air conditioning unit is freezing up and not cooling, water is dripping all over floor. I apologize that you're experiencing the issue with your air conditioning unit. I will do everything I can to help you diagnose, fix the problem as quickly. Please confirm the following information so they can blah, blah, blah. So this is just an example based off of the number of tokens or the way I've set it up. I believe I use like maybe 300 for this type of response to see how verbose that it could be. But now this is not, now very easily this could be real time, but this is not real time in the sense that this is now a response for all the different problems. Here's another one here. Help, my Windows 11 computer is not booting. Thank you for the message. Please power down your computer by pressing and holding down the power button for 5 seconds, then try to turn it on again. If this doesn't work, please let me know so I can investigate further. Okay, so these are all generated responses that come back to the app upon a reload. Okay, so that is using OpenAI as part of the data model, the OpenAI Analytics Connectors. Okay. So how are we doing? We doing all good? I hope so. Okay, I still see there's a number of people that have joined and the retention is very good, so, and I don't see any problems, so that is definitely a good sign. Okay, So the next part that I would like to present, and this is the part that's not exactly have the wow factor I was hoping for, because my ServiceNow instance crashed or disappeared on me. I don't know why. And I tried to set up one, but I just couldn't get it set up in time. It was working the other day, and Murphy's Law, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to go into my automations. Now, this is utilizing the OpenAI Connector Blocks. It's fairly straightforward, though. Okay, so I'm going to open up a pre-existing automation. And you're going to see, if you're not familiar with application automation, this is think of it as a workflow, as a service, allows you to automate common backend processes such as notifying, alerting, updating cloud data sources, a whole bunch of data applications. You could use it for, here, I'll even show you this. If I create a new one, I could even show you some of the templates that we provide to give you an idea. Okay, analytics data pipelines, alerting, master item management. So you could also integrate with Qlik Cloud Analytics as well. App-to-app integration, change control, reporting, machine learning, tenant administration, migration to Qlik Cloud. And then here are the number of the different connectors for cloud services: Slack, Microsoft Teams, Mail, Jira, ServiceNow, Amazon S3, GitHub, HubSpot, Salesforce, Dropbox, Qlik Reporting, SharePoint, Excel, Qlik AutoML, Marketo, MySQL, Qlik Enterprise, Splunk. I mean, there's just a ton of these. Basically, you're limited to your imagination on what you can build with these particular connectors. So the one that I was in, and you can see there's a number of different connectors here that connects you to all these different systems. And these systems have different types of outputs. So I can do updates to data sources and databases. I could retrieve information from GitHub, Dropbox, you name it. Okay, I've done a session on this. I have videos on this, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, but I'm automating a workflow that is going to notify my staff when a case is opened in ServiceNow. And then in this case, it's very similar to provide that particular sentiment, if you will, or help produce information that a service rep could utilize. But this time it sends it directly to Microsoft Teams. Okay, so in this instance here, I have a start block, which can be triggered by a webhook. It could be triggered by, a curl statement API, a post. It can be scheduled. In this case, I just have it set for manual. And then you'll notice if I go into my connector blocks, I type in open, we have OpenAI, and we can create a completion, list the models that are available, our raw API request, and retrieve models. In this case here, we're just going to list incidents from ServiceNow. Okay, so this is a ServiceNow block. So if I go to ServiceNow, you can see I can connect to ServiceNow. And you can see create change request, create change task, create incident, create problem. So there's creates, there's deletes, there's gets, there's lists. Basically anything that you would normally create code for or write an API for is now all automated, and you just basically point and click and configure the parameters. So here I'm connecting to my ServiceNow instance. And what I'm going to do is it's going to list any of the new incidents that are in ServiceNow. Then I'm going to use the OpenAI Create Completion API against the Text DaVinci model. Same type of connection interface. It's going to connect through the use of the tokens. And I'm going to send a prompt that says, analyze the sentiment of the sentence and return its sentiment score on a scale from 1 unhappy to 10 happy. And the reply must be a single integer. And then what it's going to do is it's going to look at all of the incidents in ServiceNow, and it's going to give it a rating. It's going to use a max tokens of whatever you define here, using temperature, top P. Again, same thing, number of completions that we want. In this case here, it's just going to return a sentiment score for all of the incidents in ServiceNow. Then we have a condition that says if it is less than 4, that's yes, then it's going to run another completion, write a possible reply. A support engineer could write for the below case, so then it pulls the information for ServiceNow, uses 300 tokens, and here number of completions 2. And what that means is it's going to return a sentence or two in response to the different incidents. And it's going to send that directly to Microsoft Teams. Okay, and what I have here is because of Murphy's Law. There we go. Okay, so what happens at this point here is when that runs in real time, not only does it update the ticket information directly within ServiceNow, but it also sends that information to Microsoft Teams. And you can see here we have two responses. So we had an incident in regards to a description. Again, I use computer keeps crashing and rebooting. Thank you for contacting our support team. I apologize for the inconvenience you're experiencing, blah, blah, blah. And here's the second one. Number of completions was 2. We apologize for the inconvenience this is causing to help troubleshoot, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that is just a couple of examples. Again, if you have already played with this, I'd love to learn more from you guys to see what other use cases you have. And if you have further questions or inquiries about anything that I've shown today, feel free to send me an email. I can't always guarantee that I'll respond based off my current workload, but I always do my best to accommodate everyone. That's just in my nature. You know, customer care is job one with me. Alrighty, so I hope to see you guys September 27th at 10 a.m. Eastern. I appreciate you guys as well, and thank you for the kind words. And if there's anything I could do, I will definitely try to make your journey using Qlik as easy as possible. That is my goal. I appreciate it all. Take care, everyone. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.